Rashi tells us that Keturah was one and the same as Hagar, whom Abraham had married more than 50 years prior, when he was 85 years of age, and who bore his firstborn, Ishmael. 1. So why the name change? To teach us that she was pure and good like Keturah, the incense that was offered to GD on the altar in the Holy Temple. You might recall that Hagar had been chased out of Abraham's home when her son was misbehaving. For many years, she was away from Abraham and his influence. 2 Yet during all their years apart, she never cohabited with another man and remained faithful and true to the ethics that Abraham taught. 3 Hence, this was another reason for the name change. In Aramaic, Keturah means bound, and Hagar remained connected to Abraham throughout all those years. 4. But if Abraham had intended to remarry Hagar after Sarah died, why did he wait until Isaac married 3 years later? Interestingly, Isaac was the matchmaker. 5 Soon after his mother's passing, he traveled to Hagar and brought her back to Abraham's home. He obviously had positive feelings towards his stepmother and considered her worthy of remarrying his father after his own mother passed away. Yet, Abraham chose to wait until Isaac was married before he himself remarried. From here, the sages learn that one whose wife passes away and who has older children should ideally first see to it that his children are settled before he gets remarried. 6. This still doesn't explain why Abraham chose to get married and have children at age 140. Even in those days, 140 was old. Abraham passed away at 175 and is considered to have lived until a ripe, old age. Yet to Abraham, it was important to have many children. Why? According to the Talmud, one very simple reason for having many children is that you don't know which one will give you nachet. 7 Obviously, Abraham had nachet and spiritual continuity through Isaac, so this most probably wasn't his worry. So what other reason might he have had for remarrying and siring more children? Simple. The first mitzvah that GD ever gave to mankind was to Adam and Eve immediately after their creation: be fruitful and multiply. He repeated those same words to Noah and his family after the decimation of the flood: go have babies. Overpopulation is not a worry for GD, it's his desire that the world be full of human beings who are decent and good. The world is big enough for us all. There is no greater act of service we can do than bestowing life onto another human being. The gift of life is truly the greatest gift of all, so while Abraham had already created a nation through Isaac, he still felt obligated to gift life to others. 8. An idea that the Lubavitcher Rebbe spoke passionately about many times, especially during the 80s, was bringing many children into the world. He saw this as a divine endeavor and a source of tremendous blessing for the parents, the community, and the world. After World War II, the Ponevezher Rav, Rabbi Yosef Shlomo Kahneman, used to visit Miami annually to raise funds for his yeshiva. Rabbi Beryl Wein, who was a congregational rabbi in Miami during that period, related this story. One day, the Ponevezher Rav called me and asked me to arrange a meeting in my home with the younger couples affiliated with my congregation. I told him that I would do so, but I cautioned him that I did not think that he would raise much money from them. He gently told me that he was not going to speak to them about donations at all. At that meeting, which was very well attended, the Ponevezher Rav rose and said to them, "My beloved children, the souls of 1.5 million Jewish children murdered in the Holocaust are floating in the air above us. Your task is to give those souls bodies to live in." On a personal note, I'm the oldest of 12 children, and both my parents come from large families, so I have over 200 first cousins. I can confidently say that big families are pure blessing. I pray that my wife and I should continue to be blessed with the incredible gift of bringing children into this world. The Talmud says, the son of David, Mashiach, will not arrive until all the souls in the treasury in heaven, which is referred to as Guf, are brought into this world. 9. I'll leave you with this final thought: you will never regret the kids you have, but too many people regret the ones they didn't bring into this beautiful world. Footnotes. 1. Based on the tradition of Rabbi Yehuda, in Midrash Rabbah 61, 4. This is cited in the Zohar 132b as well. 2. Abraham remarried her either 37 years or 27 years after she was chased out of his home, depending on two opinions regarding the age of Ishmael when he and his mother were banished from Abraham's home. 3. According to some opinions, she had returned to paganism when she moved back to her homeland, but not long after that she repented and returned to monotheism and the ways of Abraham. 4. Rashbam, Rashi's grandson, and others, like the Ibn Ezra, say that according to the simple meaning of the text, Keturah isn't Hagar, but rather a different woman whom Abraham chose to marry. The Midrash Yalkut Shimoni, Job, Remez 904, has a fascinating take on the three wives of Abraham. Sarah was the daughter of Shem, Keturah was the daughter of Japheth, and Hagar was the daughter of Ham. In other words, Abraham married, and had children, from the three families of Noah. 5. Rashi on Genesis 24 verse 62. 6. Yefei Tor and Rabbeinu B'Chai on Genesis 24 verse 67. 7. Talmud, Yevamot 62b. 8. Another possible reason that Abraham remarried Hagar, based on the principle that the patriarchs kept the entire Torah before Sinai, was to fulfill the mitzvah of remarrying one's divorcee as long as she didn't marry someone else in the meantime, which as mentioned previously was a non-issue here due to Hagar's celibacy over the many years they were separated. Not all opinions agree that this is a biblical mitzvah, but the Sefer HaChinuch, Mitzvah 580, and the Tashbetz, Part 3, Section 9, opine that remarrying one's divorcee is a biblical commandment. Rabbi Shmuel Vital, son of the famous Rabbi Chaim Vital, writes in Ber Mayim Haim, ch. 80, there is no greater mitzvah than remarrying one's ex-wife.